Stellar Blade feels like a PlayStation game. Yes, I'll address the elephant in the room, but I think it's important to describe what this game is first. Originality, a great story, fun mechanics, artistic freedom, and graphics that put Nintendo to shame. This is what a PlayStation game is. Booting up a PlayStation game brings overwhelming feelings, and not just the safe ones, but there's excitement for the incredible journey ahead. Not every game that comes out for the PlayStation is a PlayStation game. Maybe only one or two of these special titles come out in a year, if that. When they do, though, they define a console, create a permanent memory, and become a part of the person playing them. Stellar Blade is a PlayStation game. Stellar Blade follows a BA sword fighter named Eve, who is here to rescue the people left on Earth from the zombie-like creatures called Naytiba. The world Eve journeys through looks like it was created by a mixture of electronic dance music and depression. As the story progresses, it starts to make sense why that is. It's really hard not to stop and look at this world. Not a single area or spot looks like it was rushed, unloved, or lacking in detail. Each character has these cool robot parts mixed with human parts, and a lot of thought went into each one. It's easy to compare Stellar Blade to The Matrix, not only because both of their aesthetics is a cyberpunk theme, as well as both feeling similar in story and mood, but also because Adam, one of the main characters, is so similar to Tank in his appearance and role.
Go on your left. No, your other left. Try activating this monorail panel.
Stellar Blade is like a neon orange cigar. It absolutely stands out, but it smokes like any other cigar. It's so creative and unique with its world and ideas, but it plays like any other action game. Admittedly, that combat system is undeniably complex, but the way the game rolls out different mechanics throughout its runtime allows the player to figure out one mechanic before being introduced to the next. The game also allows for customization so players can lean into certain mechanics they prefer by making them more powerful, easy to perform, and have them occur more often, as well as minimizing the need for other mechanics they don't like. The difficulty sits perfectly between being a challenge but not being ridiculous, and rides that balancing act throughout the whole experience. Criticisms include the lack of an open world. Stellar Blade does actually have a couple of open world segments, but no, this is not a grand JRPG trekking adventure. Stellar Blade plays this to its advantage, and is at its best when it's linear. The open world segments are nice to stretch Eve's legs out in, but the game limits these sections, which cuts back on a massive amount of pointless bloat AAA games seem to be feeding into these days, and focuses on what makes the game great. The only real negative I can see is its story. Stellar Blade's story has a reputation that it's not very good. Admittedly, I foresaw the biggest plot twist within minutes of starting the game, but it's okay. The story is serviceable, and personally made me contemplate things in our real world even after putting the controller down, which is a win for me. Stellar Blade is a truly underappreciated game. It plays better, looks better, and is more fun than most AAA games out there, but yet it hasn't established that word of mouth and is still looked at as the odd one on the game store shelf. Yes, blame can be put on its story as a contributing reason, but really, I think people take a glance at it, see the half-dressed chick in skimpy clothes running around, and think, budget game, or that is not a serious game. Sexuality influences people's perspective on things. It's larger than Stellar Blade, it's larger than video games, it affects society as a whole, and is clearly an influence on Stellar Blade, so I would like to spend the time to address this. There are 74 outfits for the main heroine Eve to wear, and yes, most of them are revealing. Granted, you can choose your own outfit to wear, but it seems like every outfit has some form of sexualization, even for the more modest ones. Well, except for the bear outfit. The post-apocalyptic zombie hardcore action theme the game has targets an older audience that is predominantly male and predominantly straight, regardless of what the main character looks like. So this in-your-face sexuality makes sense to target this demographic, but the fact that it's unignorable is what is controversial and arguably degrades from its value. I get that most won't see this as a controversy at all. It might be clearer if I explain it a different way. When Mortal Kombat hit arcades, parents complained because of the over-the-top violence targeted towards kids. Yet when interviewing kids at this time, their answer is surprising. They found it funny. Kids were able to make the distinction that their parents thought they couldn't, which is, it's a video game. It appears that this is the general response on Stellar Blade's sexual controversy. So what? It's a video game. Yet people do care about this. There are both men and women from conservative groups that speak out against this kind of exposure. Women in particular seem divided on the subject, with several being okay with the "it's a video game" philosophy and letting it be, while others dislike women being stereotyped as sexual objects. To put the shoe on the other foot, Baby Steps is an upcoming game whose main protagonist is an overweight man who is clumsy. If the majority of video games portrayed men like this, the response among men would be divided as well, some with the it's a video game perspective, while others wouldn't like the stereotype constantly being portrayed. Yet men are not portrayed this way in video games at all. They are portrayed generally as muscular chick magnets, while women are almost always defined as the cute damsel or the overly attractive love interest. Why are women constantly portrayed like this? I myself am a straight man, and no, I've never gotten my jollies looking at a female video game character before, but they do trigger something primal inside of me. Feelings like, I will fight for her, I will do anything to protect her, which, if making a video game about fighting, is a pretty good feeling you want to pull from your player. But I can get this primal feeling with Zelda from Tears of the Kingdom. Good characterization and writing of female characters can elicit the same primal emotions sexualization can. Why try to elicit these emotions at all? Why not fight against these stereotypes with everything you have? Well, because it fails. Intergalactic is an up-and-coming game from the acclaimed studio Naughty Dog that tries to do exactly this. They have made their main character the exact opposite of an object or cute heroine, but the trailers are getting ratioed towards the negative badly. Now, that's for a multitude of reasons, but I would be lying if I didn't think this character choice is playing a major part in this negative reaction. So, you either feed the stereotype for engagement, or fight against it and fail. You might consider this a lose-lose situation, but I consider this an opportunity to be different. There is already a shift in video game culture of games avoiding the love interest trope altogether and being successful. Yes, I do think Stellar Blade made the outfits for Eve the way they did to give that older, female-attracted audience what they wanted, simply to boost sales. I can't say that definitively though. What can be said for sure is that Shift Up Studios were passionate about making these outfits. The details they put into each outfit, the change in the sound design for each one, making them the main rewards for optional quests. They clearly cared about it, and you can tell it's exactly how they wanted to make this game, whether people liked it or not. Personally, I prefer something made with passion that I might disagree with than something made by a corporation to please as many people as possible. From its gameplay to its story to its world and its aesthetics, it's all so well done. I give Stellar Blade a final score of 95 out of 100. Don't miss out on this underappreciated gem of a PlayStation game. Thank you for watching.